We have been running for a number of years large initiatives, of which Circuit, though it was made as a gift as part of our 25th anniversary, is one. We worked in mental health and young people, which was another 5 million programs. We're currently running a whole series of interventions that are of a comparable scale. So yes, it is unusual, but it's absolutely not unique. What is unique is its focus, but we are also working at this very moment with issues of democratization of museums through a program called Our Museum. So in a way, we're having more than one approach for particular issues. What it means is that at this level, there is a strong involvement in the governance or structure of the program, which is quite different from a smaller grant where we let the organization sort of look after the work that we're supporting in their own ways. Well, I think the ethos of the foundation is giving people opportunities, and it's fighting inequality of opportunities across a whole areas of disadvantage or levels of disadvantage, with a particular emphasis on young people and with a belief in the power of the arts. Therefore, Circuit is a person, is embedding, or is the embodiment, that's the word I was looking for, is the embodiment of what our values could look like within specific settings. So I think they're very, very aligned. But Circuit is a particular groups of organization trying to work differently, better, with targeted groups, organization, service providers, in order to reach young people who they might have found difficult to reach otherwise, with whom they might have been working for a while, but not in that way, not in that sustained way. So Circuit is a way to test or pilot what our values and our ethos feels like in the real world. And it is action research. It's not assuming that we have any solution to these issues. We don't know what will work or what will not work, but what we give is a mandate to the partner organization to have a jolly good go at cracking what has often proven a tough nut. The point of networks is that it's very difficult to create them artificially. They need to emerge from practice. I think that the many networks that are born tend to be, the ones that survive tend to be because the people that made them being born are the ones that were needing them and using them and are continuing to animate them. So in a way, the starting point of Tate was the notion of them working in a very different way to what had started as Tate National and is Tate Plus now, which is a really different way of interacting between a large four-site monolith and a plethora of much smaller, really interesting but very different organizations. I think that Circuit could not have happened before. So in a way, in the development of Tate's ability to work with others, they had to reach a degree of maturity, others asking the right things from Tate, and Tate being able to fulfill these demands, or indeed to offer the things that others might have wanted in the first place. And that took quite a while for Circuit to work. The point of networks is that there is an economy of scale and there is a possible gain in reach, which is really, really appealing for funders like us, who have, all things being equal, quite limited spending power. So, we spend, or aim in the new strategy is to spend £25 million a year, which is a lot, but actually when you think about some of the large grants from Arts Council to large national organizations, is tiny. So how do we stretch, or how do we maximize the benefits, particularly for participant users communities, not just for us, because we kind of don't really matter. And I think networks or formal partnership or federations are a very appealing way for us to try and ensure that it ends being more than the sum of the parts. It doesn't mean that it always does it. Sometimes it's aspirational and actually doesn't work. But I think the strength of our approach is that at the same time, we will invest in a really good program in a small community that is known to be working, and we might scaling from one community to 3 on a local basis, and that will be really efficient. So I don't think we are in the very desirable position of not having to choose one or the other. We can do both. Just one has more appeal. I think at the starting point of Circuit was a sort of sense of reaction about what had gone wrong with the riots, the fact that young people were often only talked about in the press when there were issues or when there was disaffection or disadvantage. And interestingly, that the link with the youth fund that we've created, where we want to see asset-based approach, which is not about what the problem is, but it's more about what the opportunity is. And it's not just semantics. I think it comes from wanting to change perception of young people, which is an enormous aim, but I think it sort of underpins what we do. So with Circuit, it was how can we take building-based organization with collection or with sets of exhibitions and harness their energy to become sort of community beacons in setting up new sets of relationship with young people who had not been involved before. And I think that aim is really, really still at the heart. I think what we hope to achieve is at 2 levels. And that was at the beginning. That was what we hoped to achieve when we set up we received the application from Tate and we agreed to funding it. And I think it remains true now. I think on whether it's national or on a broader scale are there lessons, recipes, tips that can be shared that show what is more likely to work in developing new relationship with youth organizations, in being a better community partner as a building within a particular city or community, in attracting and retaining young people and developing understanding and relationship with them. So can we make of these various experiments something that has currency? That would be helpful. Is it 10 questions to ask yourself when you want to work in that way? Is it as practical as a mapping exercise that enable you to understand who is your local partner, etc.? So I think that notion of hoping that something will emerge that will contribute to the greater good and for other museums and galleries across the country is really, really important. Even if some of it is what is not working and what are the programs that are not working. I think on a more individual basis, we want the participating organizations to feel different, be different, act differently at the end of the program.